Club Championships starts Monday on BBC iPlayer.
Walking with Dinosaurs. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Find your morning focus. Bring calm to your afternoon.
And drift off to sleep.
With music to unwind your mind. Ask your smart speaker
to play Radio 3 Unwind.
Welcome to Saturday on BBC One. It's Dean Idiot here with you live. Later, summer flavours in Scotland with the Great Food Guys at 11:30. After Matt leads the way.
The quest continues in Pokemon Horizons as Liko, Roy and Dot begin their training at the legendary Naranja Academy.
This is so awesome!
With fierce battles,
Let the battle begin!
formidable challenges,
Gotta get out of here.
and great adventures.
Expect the unexpected.
Can they take their Pokemon to the next level?
Come on! You got this!
Pokemon Horizons. Catch them all only on BBC iPlayer.
Walking with Dinosaurs. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
From the high seas to the height of fame, the Tommy Steele story here in an hour after a Saturday morning chill in the garden.
Parenting comes with a lot of advice, so finding the right advice when you need it can be overwhelming. Introducing CBeebies Parenting, your go-to space for up-to-date expert advice and support on all things parenting.
Today we're going to be talking about bedtime routines, sleep hygiene and wind down.
Supporting families from day one to the first day of school. We've got what you need when you need it. CBeebies Parenting, here when you need us.
Discover unique stories.
You've got obviously a well-ordered wardrobe going. Haven't you? Yeah.
Her work's still being copied and stolen by people like me.
Okay, so when are we going to change everything that makes this possible?
Only on the BBC. Watch on iPlayer.
Do you remember my Nana Connie? She left you her house.
Why would she leave me her house?
Nobody knows.
I love that whole Baby Monroe story.
No, but it's not a story. It's the truth.
No one has managed to solve our mystery.
You're not welcome here.
You haven't wanted me here, Rose. Is it because I'm digging into the mystery? And there's something you don't want me to find out?
Brand new The Last Anniversary. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
No love lost between these rugby league giants. Saints take on Wigan in the Women's Challenge Cup final here live from 11:15. First, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
From the studio on the website bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. I've got more Best Bites for you tomorrow morning at 9:30 on BBC Two, and I'll be back here live next week with Wales' best double act, Sam and Shauna. The wonderful Paul Ainsworth and Sophie Ellis-Bextor is staging our very own Kitchen Disco. Can't wait for that one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.
There you go.
got there and he says to me, "You can't go out like that, you look ridiculous." What? I thought he sent you the invite. Yeah, but the text had autocorrect. Why? What was it meant to say? It was meant to say that it's a toga party, not a yoga party, so then I'm just stood there in my pants. Oh, hold on, what? You do yoga in your pants?
Join me, Roman Kemp,
And me, Tom Grennan,
for our weekly catch-up,
otherwise known as a podcast.
You About. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half the Brinksman gold is about to resurface. This is $10 million from Russia with love.
This time it's only about the money.
I'll decide when I'm finished! Nick them.
Giant squad, nick him!
The new series of The Gold starts tomorrow at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Find your morning focus. Bring calm to your afternoon.
And drift off to sleep.
With music to unwind your mind. Ask your smart speaker
to play Radio 3 Unwind.
New Malden, Leeds and Greater Manchester for today's Homes Under the Hammer in half an hour on BBC One, right after a taste of Scotland.
Oh, down for this moment.
Let's go!
Bottom of India.
I don't know.
Straight? We both still want to win this.
Travelling with you has been the best experience of my life.
I can't run on this.
How do we get there?
Race Across the World, the finale, Wednesday at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Tell you what I want to see this guy take on. Brinlar, oh chef extraordinaire. I want to see this guy tackle a curry. Yeah. A Brindaloo. Brindaloo!
Welcome to St. Denis Medical Centre.
St. Denis Regional Medical.
We're like the Avengers, you know?
Boom! He's getting me! He's getting me!
We're not supposed to have favorite patients, but we do.
I almost don't want him to get better.
St. Denis Medical. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
What was that you were saying?
BBC iPlayer. Love what you find. Find what you love.
You're on five!
Binge watch brilliant shows.
Watch and learn.
Live stream BBC TV. Find your next big obsession.
It's only about the money.
And about us taking it from them.
Just press red for the best way to watch TV on BBC iPlayer.
Bargain buys on BBC One. Join the hunt for antiques in Pembrokeshire at 1:15 today. Properties first, from auction to renovation.
Tommy boy, you filled our hearts with joy. With all sincerity, we wish you health and prosperity.
So I've got there and he says to me, "You can't go out like that, you look ridiculous." What? I thought he sent you the invite. Yeah, but the text had autocorrect. Why? What was it meant to say? It was meant to say that it's a toga party, not a yoga party, so then I'm just stood there in my pants. Oh, hold on, what? You do yoga in your pants?
Join me, Roman Kemp,
And me, Tom Grennan,
for our weekly catch-up,
otherwise known as a podcast.
You About. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Just be careful who you trust. We're family. We're in this together.
You toxic, Parker!
How the hell did we get into all this? Martin's lost his sparkle.
As you know.
Hello, old girl. God, I've missed you.
The new series of The Power of Parker. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
What a set of tennis from Katie Bolter.
The Queen's Club Championships starts Monday on BBC iPlayer.
A rugby league rivalry for the ages now on BBC Two. Live from Wembley, Saints and Wigan are about to lock horns in the Women's Challenge Cup final.
Stay in and catch up with Not Going Out, the box set, also on iPlayer. While new from BBC Sounds, the lowdown on the best ever albums, long player with Stephen Rainey.
Half the Brinksman gold is about to resurface. This is $10 million from Russia with love.
This time is only about the money.
I'll decide when I'm finished.
Nick them.
Flying squad, nick him! The new series of The Gold starts tomorrow at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Daily Courier, sir. Get your courier.
I beg your pardon, miss. I was caught by news of this show with double crossings and murders.
Father, that's the one you delight in.
Well, really? You must join us this evening.
Nothing brings us together like great TV.
So a TV licence, it gives you access to this wondrous treachery.
Indeed.
A TV licence for all TV channels and BBC iPlayer.
Everyone, this is Byron. You're a problem child.
I want a fire.
You're growing up too fast.
Now I can't be a lot of duckhead forever, can I?
What it feels like for a girl. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
What a set of tennis from Katie Bolter.
The Queen's Club Championships starts Monday on BBC iPlayer.
This is BBC One now at 1 o'clock, the lunchtime news with Lewis Vaughan-Jones.
Politician Arnold Schwarzenegger has told the BBC that people should stop whining about President Trump's views on climate change and instead go all out to combat it. He's been running a climate conference in Austria and told Laura Kuenssberg that solutions could still be found through international action, regardless of the White House's policies.
And I tell them, I said, hey, stop whining. What do? I said, we all have a responsibility. What do you think, the action comes only for the whole world out of Washington, the White House? No. I said, most of the action is happening on a local level and on a state level.
And you can see more of that interview on Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg on BBC One from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, Hull Kingston Rovers and the Warrington Wolves will contest the Men's Challenge Cup final at Wembley later. For Warrington, chance to avenge defeat in last year's final. St Helens are taking on Wigan in the women's final. Our sports reporter Adam Wilde is pitchside at Wembley. Adam.
Yeah, into the closing stages of the Women's Challenge Cup final, and I think it's safe to say we're about to see what will be quite a significant upset. Remember, St Helens came into this looking to win the Women's Challenge Cup for a 5th year in a row. They're currently being beaten by 30 points to 6 by a Wigan Warriors side playing in their first ever Cup final. Attention then turns to the men's showpiece events later this afternoon. Warrington Wolves, last year's beaten finalists, with a real point to prove. It's going to be tough though. They're up against Hull Kingston Rovers, the form side in British Rugby League. They haven't won a major piece of Rugby League silverware for more than 40 years. How they'd love to bring those glory days back to their long-suffering fans in East Hull. It remains Rugby League's grandest occasion. The men's final kicks off at 3 and it's live on BBC One.
Thank you, Adam. Now, it's not quite the Battle of Hastings, but in the English seaside town, a very serious event is taking place.
My least favourite hole is the iconic windmill, because I seem to have lost the ability to hit the ball through the sails.
It's always the windmill, isn't it? Yes, the annual Crazy Golf World Championships are on again in Hastings. Pitch and putt enthusiasts challenging each other and the windmills and the lighthouses for a handsome sum of £1,250. That's all from me. Plenty more on the BBC News website as all. The next news on BBC One is at 5:30. Bye for now.
Hello. This afternoon we're looking at an afternoon of brief sunny spells and widespread showers. Some of the showers today turning heavy and thundery. We've already seen some thunderstorms affect the south and east of Scotland, but there'll be a few popping up elsewhere this afternoon. Showers really widespread today, but it's this clump of really heavy downpours working into southwest England at the moment that I've got my eye on, because those storms are going to be pushing their way eastwards. They get pretty close to South Wales, South Midlands, but definitely on the way to central southern England and the southeast. The rain could be heavy enough to cause some localised surface water flooding on that feature, but elsewhere the showers should tend to move through. It is an afternoon where most of us will see a downpour at some point, and it's a little on the cool side for the time of year. Now, those thundery downpours last for a while into the evening across East Anglia and South East England before clearing away overnight. Clear skies then follow, and it's going to be a cool night for June. Temperatures down to between 5 and 8 degrees Celsius. Should be a decent start to the day tomorrow. Nice sunrise for quite a few of you, but showers from the word go in Northern Ireland. Elsewhere, the cloud will tend to bubble up, and we are going to see some showers again break out into the afternoon. And okay, they won't be quite as heavy, not quite as widespread, a bit more in the way of sunshine between the downpours. Temperatures just a little bit higher, 15 to 19 degrees Celsius for many of us tomorrow. Into the new working week, for England and Wales, it should be a decent start to the week. Most areas will have dry weather with some sunshine, but cloud will thicken for Northern Ireland and Scotland with an area of low pressure on the way. That's going to be bringing rain here through the afternoon. It's going to be another cool day in the north of the UK, but for England and Wales, starting to get a bit warmer. Temperatures high teens to low 20s, and deeper into next week, we see a big change in our weather patterns as the winds start to push up this much more humid air from the south. With that, okay, there could be some thundery showers around, but it will turn warmer and more humid for all of us, and for some, it could become really quite hot with temperatures reaching the high 20s, might get even quite close to the 30-degree mark. That's the latest weather. Bye-bye.
So I've got there, and he says to me, "You can't go out like that, you look ridiculous." What? I thought he sent you the invite. Yeah, but the text had autocorrect. Why? What was it meant to say? It was meant to say that it's a toga party, not a yoga party, so that I'm just stood there in my pants. Oh, hold on, what? You do yoga in your pants?
Join me, Roman Kemp, and me, Tom Grennan, for our weekly catch-up, otherwise known as a podcast. You About. Listen on BBC Sounds.
There's no going back to normal in the square.
So Warrington Wolves against Hull Kingston Rovers in the final of Rugby League's Challenge Cup, live on BBC One after 45 minutes of Welsh wonders.